Hey guys, the section of violence here. Man, I know it's been a rough, dry week. We're actually doing pretty good with Road to UFC. Just to give you a quick recap. Um, let me try to make it quick. So, yeah, we had for our first result, we had the underdog Tumenda. He upset Top Noi. I had a feeling he would. Um, he's the better striker, or I don't know about better striker. I didn't really watch the fight to be honest. I was asleep, but yeah. Apparently it was a good fight, close fight, and he edged it with the grappling. So what do you know? Top Noy is grappling. Man, he has no grappling. He smokes too many cigarettes. A little bit of oopsie on my part. Sayura wins easily. I didn't really research much on him. I just assumed. Well, I did, but I didn't. His opponent was more like an oddball. I didn't understand what was going to happen. So, and with that bowl cut, I didn't really know. That bowl cut's really sus. I know it's like a popular look in Japan, but yeah, I really don't like that bowl cut. I've seen too many of them get knocked out with that bowl cut, so it is what it is. Um, but yeah, he cashed for us. He was easy money, lock of the whole weekend, in my opinion. Cashed with ease. One of their locks of the weekend. Climaco wins with his grappling. Um, I didn't really take him because of his chin, but you know, could have been a good spot there. And we cashed the dog there thanks to Bird. Yeah, thank Bird. Um, kind of wish I tailed you to the full extent on that to that one unit, but I wasn't confident enough in him, so I didn't. Anyways, next card, we cashed really well. We cashed Nraji, um, pretty easily. I don't know about pretty easily, but he knocked him out with a highlight reel finish. That was a nice one unit cash. Love that. Um, Next we had Pasulatin as our least confident on the card. He loses. It is what it is. Yibugali versus Konda, close fight. Konda edges it. I took Konda there. So I had Choi, one of the locks of the card. Kumar gave a better accounting of himself than I thought, but he still is bad, and Choi made it look quite easy. Um, and then Lee missed an easy spot there. I just don't trust him because of playing him in 1FC, even though it's a lot different competition over there. It's still. I don't know. I have PTSD with this guy, so I don't play him very much. But yeah, there's another card tomorrow. We already have the plays out. Most of the parlays are already halfway done, so can't really tell you guys too much after. But let's get into LFA we have today. So this card, um, it's interesting. I'm gonna get into it. So like the weigh-ins, you don't really get too much out of. We have Raphael Silva. She's a judoka, very, very credentialed in judo. Facing a girl who hasn't had a pro win, but is very experienced as an amateur. 16-1 as an amateur, facing decent level competition. Not the greatest, but not the worst. So, um, I don't know how to gauge her grappling, considering it's not at the level of Silva. But I do like her striking a little better, so I'm gonna go with Barazola here, but I'm not confident enough. So if you guys want to take the dog, I wouldn't be against it. I just really I can't get behind this fight. It's just too many things could happen. But yeah, guys, I just passed this dog or pass. Moving on though, we have Levi Rodriguez versus Jose Carlos Lima. So I like Levi here. I think he's the better striker. Um, and the better MMA fighter, but he is facing a guy who is really, really big. I will say that, and he does have that one punch power. But the thing is, he's facing absolute cans. So this would be his hardest opponent, as opposed to Levi. He last fought a 3-1 guy. It has a pretty lengthy amateur career. So I'm gonna go with Levi here. I'm pretty confident as well, but it's a fight, anything can happen, so just be careful. Um, yeah, moving on. We have Minoto versus Juan Pablo Vieira. So Vieira dangerous on the feet. I will say that, but he's not the level of striker Minoto is, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinions. So for that reason, I'm gonna go with Minoto by round one KO. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a Vieira upset. I just like Bellato here. He's more experienced, maybe not more experienced, but as a striker for sure. He does worry me a bit, but I do think he's gonna win this. I think he's a beast on the feet, and the only thing that bothers me about LFA Brazil is that they don't. Oh, I mean, LFA period doesn't let you watch the prelims, but they're really, really good at updating you and posting live videos. So hopefully, I get to see this fight. It'll be a good one for sure. I'm on Minoto here. Moving on, we have Howell Paulo Santos versus Ismael Samos. So, despite the record, Ismael Samos isn't exactly a can. He's got some jiu-jitsu and some striking, I guess. But I gotta go with JP Santos here. I just think Santos is the more polished MMA fighter. I feel like his striking's better, his grappling's better. But yeah, this could be an upset, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. I'm on JP Santos here. I think he's gonna win with a lot of ease, but I could be wrong. You never know. Anything can happen. Next up, we got Hugo Piva versus Marcos Degli. So Piva's, I'd say Piva's very, very aggressive, and he doesn't go away. Um, I, this is a weird one for me because he could have won that last fight, but he didn't win. And I remember betting against him because he was fighting somebody from DuBronx's team, I believe. I think he's from DuBronx's team. Let me check. Yeah. So here, I don't feel like he's going to be facing as aggressive and durable of competition. So for that reason, I'm going to go with Piva here. I'm going to go with Piva by TKO or decision. I'm really a little torn on how he wins this, but I got Piva here. I think he's the better fighter, and he's faced harder competition. Yeah, moving on. We have Hugo Kunia versus Fernando Bautista. If this was any other opponent, I would tell you guys just, you know, take Hugo with a grain of salt. But I do think Hugo wins this quite easily. Fernando isn't in exactly the worst shape, but he's not in the greatest shape. His record is not good. He has lost to not the greatest of opponents. He's just not good. Um, Kuna isn't great also, but he's at least good enough to where he should beat guys like Batista. I'm gonna go with Kuna here, getting him out of there in the first round, but I do worry about an adrenaline dump in that first round. Kuna, you know, in one FC he showed his colors and didn't really pan out well for him in one FC. You know, losing to Dustin Johnson of all guys, but he took him to a split decision, so if that means anything. I'm gonna go Hugo by first round KO, but it's gonna be a fun one for sure. Moving on, we got Vinicius Perez versus Caú Fernandez. Caú Fernandez has a good head kick. Um, he is dangerous on the feet. It's a close fight, but I'm gonna go with Fernandez being the more crisp striker. Um, I feel like he'll be able to keep him at range, dictate where the fight goes, and I feel like he'll be able to land the more effective shots. So I'm gonna go with Fernandez here. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if an upset. There's a lot of fights this card that I'm not too sure about. Speaking of such, moving on. Mateos de Silva versus Lucas Roca. Now, I wanted to say, okay, 15-1. It's got to have a record like that for a reason. So then you go into his record and you see that he's faced some pretty decent guys and some pretty bad guys. So you don't really know how to gauge him, and his and the leagues he's facing in aren't exactly the most reputable. So, and then you see Mateus de Silva on the other hand. His only losses are in Jungle Fight. And Jungle Fight has its ups and downs, but they at least have consistent um, talent coming out of that promotion. So I can at least know what to gauge, how to gauge him. Um, I'm gonna go with De Silva here, a nice underdog shot, but it's gonna be a close one. I do predict it's gonna be a close fight. But the strength of schedule, I think, does favor Silva. But I'm gonna go with Silva here by decision. It's gonna be a close one. Moving on, we have Geraldo Nato versus RG Marrero, Demondes. Both guys are huge on juice, and someone's getting knocked out. That's all I gotta say. Um, I'm going Neto here, but anything can happen here, and I can see him also having a huge, like a tough battle where he just edges a decision. So that's why I'm going to take him by decision here. But this is a wild card fight, so anything can really happen. But I'm going to go with Neto here. Moving on, we got Junior Luis versus Anderson Ferreira. Ferreira, I do like it here just because of the competition Junior Luis has fought. He's got some clean striking, but it's like who have you fought, you know? Um, he's not like he's nothing really special, you know what I mean? Losing to Milson Castro. So there's that. Someone that got that Anderson Ferreira just knocked out. So that shows that there's already an advantage in the head of Ferreira. I'm gonna go with Ferreira here, going by decision. Could catch him also. So I don't know. This is a fight where because Ferreira isn't exactly the most defensively sound, so anything can happen here as well. But I'm gonna go with Ferreira. I gotta go with Ferreira. MMA math and my own opinion. Off watching film of both of them, I just think Ferreira's better. But yeah, let's see what happens. Should be a fun one. Moving on, we have the juiced up Acao de Santos versus Rodolfo Bellato. I like Bellato here. He's an 8, but he also has he's got some good jiu-jitsu and good striking. Acao doesn't really have much power, and other than the juice, he's on juice, I can tell. But unless that plays a factor, I really don't think he's going to cause too much problems in the feet with Rodolfo. Just being big is probably his biggest asset. But I do think he wins this. Rodolfo wins this by decision. I think Akal is going to use big man defense and just lay on the floor and let Bellato tee off on him for 5 rounds. But yeah, this could be a fun one. I'm going to go with Bellato here. He's my most confident pick on the card. If that tells you anything about the card. I'm just going to play it light. I wouldn't advise you guys to do anything different. This is a weird card. Definitely not as easy as the last LFA card. Yeah, guys, like, subscribe, you know the drill. If I could give you guys a top 5 most confident, I'm gonna go Bellato. I'm gonna go. Let me see, Manito. And then we're gonna go Kuna, Santos, and Rodriguez for 3. I'm gonna go Buzico Ferreira for 4, and I'm gonna go Fernandez for 5, or Piva. All right, guys. Like, subscribe. You know the drill. I'll see you next time. So long.